Hello class, today we are going to do your test review. Oh yay, right? Okay, let's see. Now, I went ahead and solved these, but I wanted to show you how you are supposed to set these problems up on your tests. Now notice, these are not the test questions themselves. These are actually from the review that we did together. So, and the numbers are going to be different than what you put on your paper, but this is how you're going to set them up. Okay? So pay attention. For the first two problems, we have a formula we use to find the sum of the measures of the interior angles. Interior means inside, so we're going to find the sum of the inside angles. To do that, we use this equation right here. 180 times the number of sides minus 2. Now it doesn't matter how many sides you have, you still use that formula. So notice I have it over here too. I have 180 times the number of sides minus 2. In this problem we have 15 sides, so I have 180 times 15 minus 2. And 15 minus 2 is 13, so I have 180 times 13. Over here, I have a 22-sided figure, so I have 180 times 22 minus 2. 22 minus 2 is 20, so I have 180 times 20. Now, I'm not going to work all of these out perfectly because you have your calculators and you have your test, which has a different number of sides. But this is how you're going to set it up. Now, the next section, to find the sum of the measures of the exterior angles. It doesn't matter how many sides you have. If you have 3 sides, if you have 127 sides, the sum of the measures of the outside angles, the exterior angles of a convex polygon, is always going to be 360. Always. Okay? Now that leads us to our next few problems. Oops. Oh. Okay, let me find the page. Alright, we want the measures of one interior and one exterior. Okay, that means the last two problems, the last 4 problems, we tried to find the sum of all of them. This time we only want one of them. So we're going to use this formula to find one interior angle. And then we're going to use 360 divided by the number of sides to find the exterior angle. Okay, this is the interior, this is the exterior. Okay, so set this up on your test for those problems. You're going to write down this equation for the interior and this equation for the exterior. Now on number 5 on this review, we have a 12-sided figure. So we put 12 in wherever there was an in. So we have 180 times 12 minus 2 divided by 12. That means we have 180 times 10, because 12 minus 2 is 10, divided by 12. And you can do that in your calculator. Now, that's for the interior angle. The interior angle. For the exterior angle, we simply put 360 divided by the number of sides, which means we have 360 divided by 12. And we simply solve that for the exterior angle, okay? So we've got 2 equations. We've got our interior and we've got our exterior, which is 360 divided by the number of sides. Over here we have a 30-sided figure. So we're going to have 180 times 30 minus 2. And then we're going to divide that by the number of sides, which is 30. That gives us 180 times 28, because 30 minus 2 is 28. And we're going to take that and divide it by 30, and then you can plug that into your calculator. Of course, I'm not going to go ahead and solve these because, again, you have different numbers on your test, and you have calculators. For the exterior angle, we're going to simply take 360 and divide it by 30 because I have a 30-sided figure. So that's numbers 1 through 6. Okay. Alright, this is where it gets a little more difficult, and I notice a lot of you had trouble with this. The first thing you are going to do is you're going to write down this right here. I want to find the sum of all of the angles all together, okay, all of them all together. So I'm going to find the sum, which is what we did in numbers 1 and 2. 180, there's 6 sides, so we have 180 times 6 minus 2, which is 180 times 4, which is 720. So this is my sum. This is what all of those added up all together is going to equal. Okay, so then my next step, this is the first step. My next step is to actually add them all. So I have x plus 4x plus 4x plus 3x plus 3x plus 5x. I've got them all listed here. I've added them all together, and they equal what number 1 equals. Okay, so what you got for the first part of it, you're going to put right there. When I add all these up, 1x plus 4x plus 4x plus 3x plus 3x plus 5x, I get 20 x's. So I have 20x equals 720. I divide both sides by 20 so that I'm left with x. 720 divided by 20, that gives me x equals 36. Well, that's great. That's your first part, x equals. But then you've got to go back and you've got to solve all the angles. So you're simply plugging in 36 for x. This is just simply 1x, so this angle here is 36 degrees. This one here, we have 4x, which means 4 times 36. Same for this one, 4 times 36. This one's 3 times 36, 3 times 36, and 5 times 36. And y'all can solve all of those in your calculator. It's not so important that you know the answers to this review as it is how to set it up. Okay, so we're going to do the same process for the next one. You're going to start off with 180 times the number of sides you have minus 2. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. 5 sides and 5 angles. So we have 180 times 5 minus 2, which is 180 times 3, which gives us 540 degrees. All right, that's my first step. My first step is to find the sum of the angles. Okay. My second step is to add up all the angles. So I'm adding up all of these. I have x plus 20 plus x plus 5 plus x minus 5 plus x plus 10 plus 540. If I add up all my x's, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. If I add up all my numbers, I get 30. So I have 5x plus 30 equals 540. And to solve it algebraically, I want to go ahead and subtract the 30 from both sides. That gives me 5x equals 510 degrees. I divide it by 5. Divided by 5, x equals 102 degrees. All right. So then I go and plug it back in. This is my third step. After I found out what x equals, that's my second step, I go and plug it back in. I simply, x is 102, x plus 20, 102 plus 20 is 122, 102 plus 5 is 107, 102 minus 5 is 97, and 102 plus 10 is 112. Okay, that's how you solve those problems right there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording.